everyone. I hope that you had a good Easter and are looking forward to a nice big snack today to help process or digest those Easter eggs. And so Beck's request of the thighs and buttocks will work in well with that. Thanks for that, Beck. So, all right, we will start with a bit of balancing today, but with standing spine roll once again. And so just remember, if you do have a sore back or a sore neck, do follow those sore back variations, or if you haven't done it for a while as well. All right, let's get started. Standing spine roll. Now, the construction workers are very busy outside today, so I do hope that the sound is okay. I will try to keep my voice up. Standing spine roll, deep breath in, grow taller. Breathing out, chin to chest, peel your spine off that imaginary wall. Notice how far down you're reaching. Behind breathing out, use the abdominals to support the spine, uncurl to the upright. And again, breathe in, grow taller. Breathing out, chin to chest, and roll it down. Notice how far you're reaching. Chin to chest, and roll it down. Notice how far you're reaching. Beeline, use the abdominals and uncurl to the upright. So we'll start off with some balancing. You can have a chair close by, or you can just stand on one leg if this balancing is a little bit too exotic for you today. All right, so let's see a mirror image of me leaning to the side. So nice and strong through your center, strong through that supporting leg. Squeeze your core, that corset around your center. Nice deep breaths. Get the breath to the base of the lungs. Be aware of that tripod foot position on that foot that you are standing on. So create that arch. Now lean to the opposite wall without your foot touching the floor. So still a sideways lean. Nice deep breaths. So slowly up. Now I hope I'm far enough away from the wall. We'll soon find out. So leaning forwards. No, I'm not. Okay. Well, there you have it. So your legs should be straight and your whole body in line with so your body parallel to the floor. So heel in line with your hip and squeeze your core. Keep your hips facing squarely down towards the floor. Slowly straighten, knee up to the level of the hip, arms up and eyes closed. Now this is a worry because you can see me but I can't see you. It's usually the other way around. And easing out of that, give that leg a shake and across to the other side. So nice and strong through your center and strong through that supporting leg. Squeeze the core, pinch through the buttocks. Lean to the opposite wall, so still a sideways lean. Without that foot touching the floor. Slowly up. Now get that whole body parallel to the floor. Lift the leg up until your heel is in line with your hip. So take it down, whole body parallel. Shoulder blades are in pocket. Squeeze your core, that corset around your center. Tiny bend in that supporting knee. Slowly up, knee up to the level of the hip, arms up and eyes closed. And easing out of that, give that leg a shake. Now if you have got a sore shoulder, we're going to go into calf stretch. You can do your calf stretch against the wall. Elbows are at shoulder level. Make sure that back foot is straight. Bend the front knee and press your back heel flat. Otherwise, you can join me for downward dog on the floor for your calf stretch. I'll just get that in a little closer to see me better. So wrist in underneath your shoulder, knees are in underneath the hips, tuck your toes and push back. Now slowly alternate with the legs to press one heel down towards the floor at a time. Tuck your chin in and look towards your knees. Now pushing down with both. Push away with your hands, flatten your spine, straighten the knees and push those heels towards the floor, keeping the weight more on the little toe side of your foot. And easing out of that, we'll do a big lunge forwards. So hip flexor stretch, big lunge forwards with the right foot, pushing that left hip towards the floor. Now lifting that back knee up off the floor if you would like a firmer stretch. Remember to keep shoulder blades in pocket, neck in line with the rest of the spine, and push out through that back heel. Lean slightly to the left-hand side, feel that stretch on the front of that left hip. Keep the deep breathing flowing throughout. And then changing sides. So remember, whenever you're stretching, compare left and right side. And if you are particularly tight on one side, make sure that you do that side again, or that you do practice that a few times through the week. So we're looking for balance within the body. So leaning slightly to that right and tucking with the pelvis. Keep that hip down low. Make sure that you're not up here. Try and sink that hip as low as possible or within your limits of discomfort. Now we are going to kneel. If you do have sore knees and this one is bothering you, you can pop a cushion at the back there and put your hands down. Otherwise, if it's too much, come out of it, don't kneel then. So you can keep some pressure on the hands. Otherwise, torso nice and upright, tuck with the pelvis. That's a straight back. That's not a straight back. And if that's easy for you, leaning back within your limits of discomfort. Pushing the knees to the floor and tucking with the pelvis. So feeling that stretch on your thighs. But really careful when you come up and out of this. Make sure you put your hand in the center and squeeze your core to come up. Don't go off to one side. Donnie, you've got this down pat now, I'm sure. Hand in the center and straight up. It's just if you go off to one side, you can strain through your lower back. So we're going to do a thigh stretch now. We're going to go over onto our sides, but really important that you maintain your pelvic tilt. Don't go into a sway in the back. You want to isolate into your thigh. So your bottom leg way forwards, heel to the buttock, tucking with the pelvis, and pull that knee back and behind your torso. So with this stretch, we're trying to get to a 9 out of 10 of discomfort, just into the thigh, nowhere else. So keep maintaining that tuck and pull that knee back a little further. So if those thighs are tight, you can get a sore lower back from them. It pulls the pelvis into the wrong position. So really important, this stretch. And over onto the other side. So that bottom leg, way forwards, heel to the buttock, tucking with the pelvis, drop the knee down to the level of the hip and putting back and behind your torso. Keep yourself honest, try and inch that knee back that extra centimeter. Tucking with the pelvis, protect your lower back. Easing out of that, we'll lie on our backs for hamstring stretch. Now, if you have got a sore neck, make sure that you use a cushion or a rolled up towel in underneath your head. So using a band, but you don't have to use one, you can hold behind your thigh. You do have that band wide around the forefoot of your left foot. With the knee bent to make it easier, with the leg straight for more of a challenge. So pressing up with the heel, down with the hip, bend the elbows, pull your knee towards your shoulder. Really pull that forefoot down. The stretch will come through into your calf, but you do want it through into the hamstring. So if you're not feeling it into the hamstring, pull that thigh a little closer to your chest. Make sure that your foot is nice and straight and your foot is flat, as if you're balancing something on top of it. And then changing sides. So band wide around that forefoot, knee in line with your shoulder, pressing up with the heel, down with the hip, bend the elbows, knee to shoulder. Breathe through your stretch. And easing out of that. And buttock stretch, left foot on the right knee, hold behind the right thigh, or that firmer stretch in front of your right knee. Hugging that thigh in close, and try dropping that right knee to the right hand side, just looking for that more intense stretch. Relax the tailbone back towards the floor. Keep your chin tucked in, protect your neck throughout. Always consciously relax the stretched muscle, breathe through your stretch. And changing sides, holding behind that left thigh or in front of the left knee, hugging the thigh to the chest. So once again, try dropping it to the left-hand side, just looking for that more intense stretch. And easing out of that. And we'll waken those abdominals up. Perfect abdominal curl, where you maintain your natural curve and you squeeze the ribs towards the hips so that you're working from your center. You don't want to pull from your neck or shoulders. So knees are together, feet are flexed and apart. Just be aware of where that natural curve is. Either interlink the fingers, elbows out wide, or hands on opposite shoulders if you've got a sore neck or you would like more of a challenge. Squeeze ribs to hips. So you're just moving through a very small range of movement, lifting the shoulder blades off the floor and then just a tiny release back. Use your breathing. It does help to make the exercise more effective. So you're breathing out to curl up and breathing in just a small release back. So the breathing is also giving you the speed at which to be moving. As you curl up, beeline, as well as engaging through the pelvic floor. One more. Relax at that. Just check you still have your natural curve and you haven't got into a tuck. And then another set. So just keep it small and subtle, lifting your shoulder blades up off the floor and learning to work from the abdominals, not pulling from neck or shoulders. Use your breathing. Squeeze your knees firmly, flex your feet strongly. One more. Relax at that. We'll do it with rotations. Let your fingers are interlinked behind your head. Elbows are wide. Contract forwards. Look across towards the person or maybe the dog next to you or your husband. And back to the center. Across to the other side. Keep those knees glued together and breathe. Breathe out to rotate, deep breath in to the center. So 3 things as you rotate. Squeeze knees, squeeze core and pelvic floor. Try and rotate equally to both sides. Think of symmetry with whatever you're doing. And one more. And relax, sit down. We'll do the hundreds. So now if your neck is sore, you can put that towel or pillow behind your head. If you would like more of a challenge, holding on to hand weights. So now your lower back will be imprinted. So make sure that you lift the buttocks up, move those buttocks out the way and maintain a tuck. So now you don't have your curve, your lower back is flattened. So if your back is sore, feet above the buttocks, legs are up more vertically. If you'd like a challenge, toes together, heels apart, legs lowered to where your lower back is still imprinted. Doing it with me. So just make sure you're not straining through the neck. Rest the head back if you need to. If your head is lifted, tuck the chin in and look towards your knees. Squeeze ribs to hips. Squeeze the inner thighs, pinch the buttocks. Flex those feet, Maureen. Well done. Squeezing ribs to hips. So if you feel it in your back, remember to keep those legs up more vertically. But lower back is imprinted. Now raise the arms up to the ceiling. Now you need to be down more strongly so your back does not arch, as those arms go back in line with your ears. Don't start coming out of that. Keep squeezing ribs to hips. Keep beeline. Holding, holding, holding. Knees into the chest. Relax, sit down. So one more of the hundreds. Make sure with that breathing, there's sideways movement of your rib cage and not up and down movement with those abdominals. Lifting head and shoulders, extending the legs. So keep them up if your back is sore, or legs lowered to where your back is still imprinted. So Sharon, make sure you keep those legs up vertically. Don't let them start to sag down. You want that lower back pressed to the floor. Do you feel the tummy and not your back with this one? Squeeze ribs to hips. Squeeze the inner thighs, pinch the buttocks. Arms up to the ceiling. Now beeline more strongly with those arms. Go back in line with your ears. Keep squeezing ribs to hips. Keep holding, holding, holding. Knees into the chest and relax it down. Well done. Just squeeze those knees in. And you must be ready for your hover. All right. So with your hover, you'll feel those Easter eggs just melting away. There we go. That'll give you a bit of motivation. So your easier position is on your knees. You can stay on the knees if you need to. So we'll do 2 1-minute hovers, but we're going to gradually start building up to 2 minutes again. So you might like to practice before next time. So your forearms are parallel, so hips are shoulder height. You can either keep it there, otherwise tuck the toes. Yes, I'm getting ready. Lift it up and hold it there. So check yourself. You want to keep your hips up at shoulder height. Just being careful that you're not rounding the upper back too much. Make sure that you're tucking under with the tailbone and squeezing your core, that corset around your center. No hunching with the shoulders, no swaying in through your lower back. So you need to concentrate on that pelvic tilt. If you start feeling your back at any time, either go back onto the knees, otherwise have a short rest before joining in again. So make sure you are feeling the tummy and not your back. Pinching the buttocks will give you more stability. Neck in line with the rest of the spine. Keep those forearms parallel with the palms facing up. Squeeze your core. Release it gently. Have a short rest. These socks really are too hot. Getting ready, back onto the knees. Tuck the toes, lift it, and hold it. So concentrate on that deep breathing. Breathe in for a count of 4. Slow breath out for a count of 6. Breathe all the air out, squeezing the core, as well as engaging through the pelvic floor. Be careful to maintain that pelvic tilt throughout. So feel the tummy and not your lower back. No hunching with the shoulders. The shoulder blades pressed down towards the hips. Neck in line with the rest of the spine. Don't allow that head to start to dangle. You're on the home run. Release it gently and coming back into rest position. Feet together, knees wide, and sink your chest down low. Flatten your spine. And now a side hover. If you do have a sore shoulder and the side hover is no good for you, you can continue doing another front hover. Or you could also do one arm, one leg for an easier one. Okay, and hopefully most of you will join me for that side hover. You'll feel it working around your waist. Make sure that your calves are bent back behind you, elbow and underneath your shoulder. Straight line with the body, either onto the knees, otherwise top foot forwards or feet vertically stacked. Lift it up and hold it there. Reaching that top arm up, press your hips up high. If you like that challenge, raise and lower through that top leg while keeping your hips lifted. Shoulders vertically stacked, hips vertically stacked. Squeeze your core. Breathing out to lift and breathing in to lower. Keep those hips lifted. Release it gently and to the other side. Elbow and underneath your shoulder. Lift it up and hold it there, reaching that top arm up. If you like that challenge, raise and lower through that top leg. Keep your hips lifted high, don't let them start to sag down. Shoulder blades are in pocket. Neck in line with the rest of the spine, looking forwards. Keep your hips vertically stacked. Release it gently. Give your shoulders a little roll. And we'll lie on our backs. We'll do side to side. So just, this one's a good one if you've got a sore lower back. If your back is sore, just keep your feet resting on the floor. We'll do the first two on the floor, so it's more of a stretch, and thereafter lifting the legs for more of a challenge. Arms around shoulder level, feet together, knees together, pushing through with the hips. Turn to look to the fingers of the opposite hand, squeezing core and inner thighs to lift. Look across towards the opposite arm, keeping those shoulders nice and flat. Breathing out to lower. Squeeze core and inner thighs to lift. Push through with your hips, taking it as low as you comfortably can, and back up to the center. So either continue with that, otherwise knees are in line with the belly button, and you keep them in line with the belly button as you take them across to the side, either halfway or as low as you can with that opposite arm and shoulder are still flat, squeezing core and inner thighs to lift. Breathing out to lower and a deep breath in to lift. So looking to those fingers of the opposite hand, keeping your shoulders nice and flat. Breathing out to lower, deep breath in to lift. Keep your knees glued together. One more to each side, keeping shoulders flat. Back up to the center, relax your feet to the floor. Now just holding the stretch. Your easier stretch is with your knees vertically stacked. Get those knees nice and close into your armpit and a gentle pull. If you'd like a firmer stretch, stretch that top leg straight and pull your ankle to the floor, while reaching out with that left hand and pressing your left shoulder blade into the floor. Make sure that you beeline. Keep your lower back supported. Now squeeze the core carefully and slowly up and across to the other side. Get those knees nice and close into your armpit. And you did it on the other side. Stretch that leg out straight and pull your ankle to the floor. So have your right shoulder blade pressed into the floor. Remember to beeline so your back is supported. And squeeze the core, bring the legs back up to the center, just rocking the knees into the chest to relieve your lower back. All right, we will do another abdominal one, the single leg stretch. Now try to keep your torso still, try not to sway from side to side, and make sure that your lower back is imprinted. Once again, if your neck is sore, pop that pillow in underneath your head. So a little bit of coordination here. It's the outer hand on the ankle and the other hand on the knee. So if you've got the right leg, right hand on your ankle and left hand on the knee. The leg you're extending, if your back is sore, that leg up at a 45-degree angle, leg low to the floor as long as your back is still imprinted for a challenge. Bend your elbows, hug that thigh in close. So if it's too much, pop both hands on the knee. Outer hand on the ankle, other hand on the knee. So it's like a piston action with the legs, a blast breath out, bend the elbows, hug that knee close in towards your armpit. Keep equal pressure throughout the buttocks and a blast breath out. So it's squeeze that knee close into your chest, bend your elbows to draw that leg in. Keep beelining. Now arms to the side and use the abdominals to draw that bent knee close in towards your armpit. Have that leg at a 45-degree angle. If your back is sore, you want to keep that lower back imprinted to the floor. That last breath out, I want to hear you breathing. Little hope of that, but there you go. Poke the knees into the chest. Relax, sit down. All right, we're going to work through the abdominals and through the inner thigh. And so this one's good for your core stability. You have got a leg weight on, which I seem to have forgotten my leg weight. I've got the hand weights, not the leg weights. You can pop the leg weights on both legs. Make sure that you maintain your natural curves. You're not tucking with this one now. So the right thumb underneath the right buttock, right near to 90. Start with your knees level. So don't bring that leg up higher, knees level, and your capital D is below the level of the bent knee. Check your pelvis is square and stable. Make sure you're not starting tilted off to one side. Your foot is flexed and turned out. Breathe out to lower, deep breath in to raise. So imagine you had a paintbrush on your heel and you're drawing a capital D on the wall. Keep that bent knee still and keep that left knee locked out, completely straight. Make sure that capital D is below the level of that bent knee. Keeping your natural curve. Work from the hip joint, circle from that hip joint. One more, and now reverse that capital D. So in one direction it stands for darling, and in the other it stands for yes. You did get it right. Diane. So draw that capital D on the wall. Keep a nice strong movement. Circle from your hip joint. Work from your inner thigh. And changing legs. Just check that your pelvis is square and stable and you're not tilted off to one side. So left thumb underneath the left buttock. That's giving you that feedback if you're lifting up. Right foot flexed and turned out. Fingers of the right hand pressed into that inner thigh. Breathe out to lower and a deep breath in to raise. The larger that capital D, the more challenging the exercise. You'd like to do as large a range as possible where you can still keep correct form. So where you're keeping that pelvis stable and not tilting off to one side. So as you bring that leg up and around, work from your inner thigh and reverse. So press those fingers into the inner thigh so that you can feel that muscle working, so that you connect that inner thigh. Keep your knee locked out straight. If your hip joint is clicking, try doing a slightly smaller circle and pushing out further through your heel. Keep your chin tucked in, keep your shoulders relaxed. Maintain that natural curve. Keep that left knee still. You're on the home run with one more. And hug those knees into the chest. Well done. All right, before we come up and off the floor, we're going to do some bridging. And now, if you would like more of a challenge, and just to encourage you to squeeze in from those inner thighs, you can have a rolled up towel or a small cushion between your knees. Okay, if you left immobile arms, then do push-ups later. So ankle it underneath your knee, palms are facing up. So pelvic tilt, hold it there a moment. Make sure your lower back is squashed flat onto the floor. Squeeze the buttocks and peel your spine. Aiming for a nice straight line from your shoulder to your knee. Squeeze those buttocks tight. Push your shoulder blades down. And then tuck with the pelvis. Roll your spine down. Last thing you do is release through that pelvic tilt. So engage through tummy and pelvic floor. Make sure your lower back is pressed completely flat. Hold it a moment. Then lifting up. Squeeze the buttocks and peel your spine off. Push your hips up high. Squeeze the buttocks tight. Squeeze in from your inner thighs. And tuck in with the pelvis. Roll your spine down one vertebra at a time. Last thing you do is release through the pelvic tilt. Now, either continue with that one, so really good if you've got a sore lower back, or to prevent getting that sore lower back. But if you would like more of a challenge, yes, and then this one works the buttocks nice and strongly, but just make sure that your shoulders are okay with this. So push your hips up. Get that straight line from your shoulder to your knee. Squeeze the buttocks tight, push your hips up to the ceiling. So breathing out to lift, breathing in to lower. Feel free to continue with your bridging. Make sure that you are squeezing your core, squeezing in from the inner thighs. Keep soft elbows and pinch your shoulder blades. It's obviously not to be done if you've got a sore shoulder. You'll stick with the easier one, the bridging, if your back is sore or your shoulders are sore. This is just if you'd like more of a challenge. Really squeeze those buttocks to get your hips lifted high. Last breath out, push those hips up. Squeeze the buttocks, press the hips to the ceiling. No, don't give up just yet, just a few more to go. Last breath out, push those hips up. You've got one more. Release it down. Just give your wrists a little shake. And hug your knees into the chest. Squeeze those knees in close. Circle the knees, massage into your lower back. Reverse your circle. We're going to be over onto our stomachs for some back strengthening. So you can, if your back is sore, pop a rolled up towel. So basically while you're lying on your stomach, you're wanting to maintain a pelvic tilt and not sway into your lower back. So a towel will help to keep that correct position if your back is sore. You can hold on to some hand weights. So your legs are shoulder distance, palms are facing inwards. Lift your arms higher than your torso and release it down. So you're concentrating on upper back as you pinch your shoulder blades, your triceps as you lift those arms as high as you can, and your lower back as you lift your chest up off the floor. So if your back is sore, you can keep it small and subtle, otherwise lifting as high up as you comfortably can. Breathing in to raise, breathing out to lower, keeping your chin tucked in, head comes along for the ride, no pulling upwards with your neck. Breathe in to lift, breathing out to lower. So the feet stay on the floor, you're lifting the legs. Pinch your shoulder blades, lift it and hold it. Pinch those shoulder blades, squeeze your core. Release it gently. So now, if you do want an easier one, and the one I'm going to show you is no good, feel it at any time if you want to just drop back to your one arm, one leg, or even just the legs. Feel free to do that. So what I'm going to do now is feet flexed and turned out, thighs are lifted just off the floor, and squeeze your heels together. So back once again, want you to feel those buttocks working. Really squeezing, create that self-resistance. A blast breath out and get your heels touching. So you're working buttocks, the core, the inner thighs, and the pelvic floor. So really get those buttocks working as you squeeze your heels in towards each other. So blast breath out, get the breathing happening. Squeeze your core so that your back stays supported. Have a short rest. Now, if you do want to work a little harder, things out my way, you can move the arms as well. So it's Pilates breaststroke. Sweep the arms back and forwards. Nice straight arms, looking down towards the floor, neck in line with the rest of the spine. So blast breath out and get those heels squeezing in together. Release it gently, short break. And another set when you're ready. Flex the feet and turn them up. Lift your thighs up off the floor, so make sure you're not bending your knees. A blast breath out. Get those heels touching. Nice strong movement with the arms. Squeeze imaginary oranges in underneath the armpits. Release it gently. Back extensions, think of flexibility into your lower back. So just if your back is sore, gradually nudge into this. So your ideal position, your legs are shoulder distance apart, your hands are next to your shoulders. You push up onto your forearms and then onto the hands. Now if you are stiff in that lower back, you may need to have the hands further forwards. So then you get a smaller curve into the back. So just work within your limits and gradually nudge yourself home. Onto the forearms, onto the hands, looking forward, shoulders away from the ears, back onto the elbows and down. Deep breath in to push up, keeping your hips on the floor, and breathing out to release yourself down. Deep breath in to push up, no hunching with those shoulders. Breathing out to release it down. Now if that's easy for you and you want to work a little harder, holding onto those ankles, flex your feet, push the heels up, lift your chest and thighs equally up off the floor and release it gently. So flex the feet, push those heels up, lift the chest, lift your thighs, release with control. So pushing the heels to the ceiling, pinch your shoulder blades. Don't overarch through the neck, looking forwards, chin gently in. Breathing in to lift, pull on your feet, lift those thighs, release with control. Heels to the ceiling, lift the chest, lift the thighs, and release. Heels to the ceiling, lifting chest and thighs. And you have one more. Heels to the ceiling. Pull on your feet. Release with control. And slowly back into rest position. So feet together, knees wide. So you should feel those back muscles at work. So just take yourself down slowly. Sink your chest to the floor. Keeping the buttocks on the heels, walk the torso around to the left-hand side and reach out with that right hand. Nice deep breaths into the armpits. And across to the other side, reaching out with the left hand. With that stretch rolling through the left-hand side of the torso. And easing out of that. All right. Now, East Easter has finished, but we've still got a few Easter eggs left in the cupboard. So that now I'm wanting an egg shape with your leg. And by the end of it, I'm hoping those buttocks are going to be burning. So once again, you can have leg weights on. You're going to be lying over onto your side. Hold upper body in a nice straight line. Your palm is facing up. And the legs are slightly forwards from your torso. And make sure that you're tucking with the pelvis. Keep those hips vertically stacked, no rolling forwards or backwards. Your foot is flexed and turned out. That leg is straight. Now you're going to, first of all, have that leg slightly forwards. Then the leg in line with the other leg, and then the leg behind. But all the time you're keeping those hips vertically stacked. So you're drawing egg shapes on the side wall and getting those buttocks and outer thigh working. So doing it with me. Breathe in to lift, breathe out to circle. So small egg shape with that leg slightly forwards from your torso. Keep the knee lat straight, circle from your hip joint and reverse. So keep the movement flowing. So one repetition flows into the next. The knee joint stays locked straight. And take it now. Now your legs are level. So you'll brush past your heel on the way through. So an egg shape on the side wall. The circles are relatively small and they're a little bit faster. Keep your torso still. No wobbling about with that torso. Draw an egg shape on the side wall. Flex your foot. And reverse. Pinch those buttocks. I want you to feel those buttocks working. So squeeze your core to keep your torso still. And circle from your hip joint. And now take that leg behind. Still staying vertically stacked. It's your last set. So with that leg behind, really squeeze through those buttocks. Concentrate on the buttock muscles. Keep yourself vertically stacked and reverse. Keep the foot strongly turned out and keep that leg behind the other one. Keep the knee joints locked straight. And relax it down. And other side. So hopefully you felt those buttocks working. Make sure that you're really squeezing through the buttocks. Okay. So body in a nice straight line and then those legs come forwards. You are tucking with your pelvis, hips stay vertically stacked. Foot flexed and turned out, legs slightly forwards. Doing it with me. And egg shapes on the side. Keep your torso locked still, so you're squeezing your core to stabilize. Keep the knee joint locked straight and reverse. And now with that leg level with the other one, so you brush past the heel and egg shapes on that side wall. Keep your hips vertically stacked, no movement through those hips, no wobbling about. And reverse. Pinch through the buttocks, really squeeze those buttocks tight. So you want to work buttock and outer thigh. And now with that leg behind the other one. And keep that leg behind as you do your egg shapes. Keep the knee locked straight, pinch through the buttocks, and reverse. You're on the home run. And relax. And it's time for a buttock stretch. So you've got a couple of options with the buttock stretch. You can do your normal one lying on your back, but if you would like a different one and your knees aren't sore, so you can take one leg in, the other one side, sitting cross-legged, but your legs are slightly separated. And now I'm stretching through the left buttock, so the left foot is closer to me and leaning forwards. So nice straight back as you lean into it, otherwise lying on your back and legs are crossed over, so your normal buttock stretch. So leaning forwards, stretching into those buttocks, and breathe through your stretch. And then make sure that you change sides, so we'll swap those legs over. Now I'm stretching through the right, so I try and drop that right knee down to the floor and leaning forwards. And easing out of that. All right, and we're going to stand up. So we're breaking the thighs now, single leg squats. Now, if this is not suitable for you, if you have got sore knees or some problem with that, feel free to sit in the chair and do your leg straightening. So sit well back, nicely supported, your thigh stays resting down, flex your foot, lock the knee out straight, holding, 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 and then take it down. So that's your easier one. And single leg squats, nice functional movement. Hold on to some hand weights. Oh, just need to, I've chopped my head off. That won't do. Let's get that right. Yep. Okay. So just be careful with your technique here. I'll just show you sideways first. So the full weight is on that right leg, just up on the ball of the foot with that back foot. Keep your knee behind the line of the toes. Your back should be nice and straight. So watch out for that. You don't want that curve into your back. Knee stays behind the line of the toes. You try and drop those buttocks as low as you can. As you come up again, your full weight on that right leg. And the other important thing is that your knees stay aligned. Watch out for that little inwards roll that we tend to want to do. Okay. So on the ball of that back foot, 10 each leg, breathe out to lower, deep breath in to push up. So it's just as if you're picking something up off the floor. So if you're finding it hard, you don't need to go quite so low, but otherwise you're trying to drop those buttocks as low to the floor as you can. When you come up, push through the heels, squeeze the buttocks to drive yourself up. So you should feel the buttock and the thigh of that front leg. Okay, this one's for you. That's for everybody. Everybody benefits from that. Changing sides. So we often get a sore back because we're bending over, picking things up. We need to bend at those legs. Same thing when you're gardening. That's not the gardening pose, pulling out weeds. Get those buttocks down to pull out weeds. Yeah, I know I'm not a gardener, but I know how it should be done. Chest to the thigh, push through that front heel to come. Get that breathing flowing, squeezing the buttocks, driving through that front heel to bring yourself up. Chest to the thighs, squeeze the buttocks. Last one. Well done. All right, we're going to do some quick arms. It's a little bit of a larger snap today. All right. So standing on one leg, if that's not for you, you can stay firmly planted on both. We're going to work the rotator cuff. Elbows are tucked in, elbow, shoulder, and wrist. Wrist above the elbow, take it back down and tuck in. Keep nice and open through your chest, and you want the head to be balancing on the top of the knee. Going a little faster. Make sure you stop there and don't start to curl in there. Keep those shoulder blades in pocket. Stop, change legs. Keep those arms lifted. Push up to the ceiling, pull back. Push up, pull back. The arms come slightly forwards from your torso and arms out straight back to your start position. So as you come back to that start position, feel the upper back work. Now straighten the arms, change legs, sweep the arms down and sweep them back up again. Breathe out to lower, breathe into raise. Stop. change legs, and we'll do small circles. Take those arms back behind your torso so that you gently pinch between your shoulder blades. Keep your head still. Squeeze into that upper back as those arms go back behind. Reverse, 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it there. And relax. Well done. All right. Just going to give the shoulders a good stretch out and the upper back a good stretch out. And you'll like this one. Just show you sideways, round through your back, and push those palms away from you. And then clasp your shoulder blades and reach back. So breathing out to push away and breathing in. Breathing out to round through your back and a deep breath in, lifting up. Breathing out, round your back and breathing in. Breathing out to round and breathing in, lifting up, lifting, lifting, lifting. And release. All right, just expanding through the chest and stretching through the pecs. So breathe out, take those arms back, so they're going back behind your torso and back to the belly button height. Breathe out, squeeze your shoulder blades and breathe in. So breathe out and breathe in. Breathing out. Pinch those shoulder blades, get those arms back behind, and breathe in. Take it back, hold it there, and release. Now take the arms up to a 45-degree angle, and take those arms back behind your torso. Lock your elbows out straight, tummy and tailbone down. Take those arms back and hold it. Straighten your elbows. Keep those shoulders down, no hunching. Take those arms back. And relax. All right, just a tricep stretch, slide the hands down between the shoulder blades. If you want to firm stretch, lean to the side. And to the other side, push the hand down between your shoulder blades. And out of that, and stretching through the neck. So looking over your shoulder and over the other side. Now drop your head right back up to the ceiling, look right up. And chin to chest. Ear to shoulder, keep your shoulders level, press through the heel of the hand and a gentle pull. To the other side, keeping those shoulders level, pressing through the heel of the hand. And release. Relax through your shoulders, hunch them right up and circle around. Just a reminder of your principles of good posture. So good posture starts with that tripod foot position. So create your arch, equal weight distribution on left and right foot, feet more or less hip distance. Knees are soft. When we lock out on those knees, we tend to sway in through the back. Bring your hips above your ankles. Knees soft. Also for the health of those knee joints. So tummy in and tailbone down. So we often get a sore lower back because of that we're arching too much. So get those abdominals engaged to get that tuck under. Not by squeezing the buttocks, by using those tummy muscles. Draw shoulder blades into pocket. So palms should be facing inwards. So when you go on those walking smacks, your arms are going parallel. They're not coming across the body orangutan style. Chin in. Release it to neutral. So head balancing on the top of the neck. Walk tall and have a great week. Well done.